Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about certificates and the value that they have. So let's get into it. So the question in question here was actually from one of my friends that I interviewed. He asked, Frederick, what from your perspective is the benefit of language certificates and things like that, and what's the benefit to you as an individual, and what's the benefit to the company? So the short answer is that it gives you a receipt on education, and it is a way for you to inflate the value, or like to fill out your CV. That's pretty much what it is. Let me explain. So certificates is a racket, I will say. I'm not saying that it's bad or anything like that. I'm saying that there are so many different certificates, and the reality of a certificate is that what you're actually doing here is that you are paying some organization to put their seal of approval on your skills. That is what you're doing. Now, that is very much like going to school or paying tuition or anything like that. If you have a fancy university on your CV, then that's basically proof to someone who's going to hire you that you've been educated or you know certain things. It's a stamp of approval. It's a badge of honor or badge of quality, call it whatever you want. And that is pretty much all a certificate is. It's just a piece of paper that states that you know something. Now, if we really think about that, because I've had this question before, are certificates worth it? And I replied back to my friend here and said, I will tell you the same thing I've said previously, and that is that if that stamp has a name, if that stamp is prestigious, if that piece of paper represents an organization that someone knows about, then it has value to you. Otherwise, it's just a piece of paper. I can give you a certificate today. You can send me, I can send out a simple question. I don't even have to do that. I can just dispatch it. I can tell you right now, oh yeah, I'll make a little logo and I will say, yeah, you have Frederick's stamp of approval as a official YouTube bathtub coder, and you're great. That's it, right? It doesn't get more official than that. And that's kind of the thing with these certificates, and that's why I call it a little bit of a racket, because anybody can give you a certificate, but it's not worth anything unless it's actually backed up by an organization that's really respected. Now, there are certificates that may be more respected than others, depending, once again, it depends on the company name, it depends on the nature of the certificate. But at the end of the day, going and taking a certificate for a language or something like that, it's not going to teach you something that you can't learn somewhere else. That's the reality. It's not in any way something that is going to make you a better software developer. Or it's not necessarily going to make you a better software developer. All it's going to do is that, as I said, it's going to give you a piece of paper. The value it does have to you at a personal level is, as I said, it's going to give you something to add to your CV. A certificate or taking one of those is the same thing as it's a very similar thing to going to school. You can add it to your education section of your CV and taking extra courses and so forth. It's something that may look good. That's what it is. It's just going to give you an indicator, but at the end of the day, that's pretty much it. For a company, certificates can be a very useful thing because some companies do actually have that, where they might hire junior developers or they might hire certain people that they want to work for them, but they need to get them up to scratch to have a certain level. Because the thing is, when you're hiring out consultants, you need those consultants ideally to have the highest expertise as possible, which is of course the case for everybody, but for the consultancy it's almost even a little bit more important that they have fairly quality software developers, because they're actually renting out hours, and they are expected to provide competent developers that can kind of do the job most of the time. And so a certificate can be a very nice thing for them, because then they can streamline the process even more. They may not necessarily need like the top-notch talented super developers of the world, or like innovative super geniuses, but they do need people that they can trust is going to survive in the environment they put them in, because it's important to them, their business, that whatever consultant that they rent out to their customer is going to perform at least at an expected level, because otherwise they might damage their relationship with that customer. If they send a bunch of people who don't really fit into for that customer, they might actually lose the customer. So it's important, like, so that there is a value to them. And also the CV weight that is added through a certificate also helps with actually giving with the pricing. Like, they might be able to pitch that this consultant is worth a little bit more money because this person has certain expertises or specialities, or basically prove that they're extra good, that sort of thing. But overall, certificates are just a piece of paper that you're paying for. So what I want you to take away from this is that if you're wondering about certificates, if you're wondering if they're worth having, it's a very good idea for you to figure out if anybody cares. Because some of them are really expensive. They're like outlandishly expensive, and it's just not worth it most of the time. Sometimes for certain certificates in certain areas, such as networking or security or things of this nature, there are absolutely certificates which carry some weight. But most of the time it's just a piece of paper which proves, quote unquote, that you have taken a test or a course or something like that. And that's all it is. It's no different from any other type of education. It's just that it's usually a lot more expensive than anything else. So unless that seal of approval carries some weight within the area that you want to work, you're probably better off just figuring all these things out yourself, because taking a certificate doesn't actually make you a better programmer. It's just a piece of paper that states that you know something that quite a lot of other people already know. Have a great day.